Ah yes, the controversial retractable dog leash. I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of them and I only use traditional dog leashes, but when me and my dog Starbuck are out walking, most of the dogs that we see are being walked on, you guessed it, retractable dog leashes. And a lot of the dog owners we meet are surprised that we're not using them. They'll go, oh, why aren't you using one? It gives your dog so much freedom. And I always find this question so ironic because, as I will explain in this video, it is the opposite. Dogs don't feel freedom on a retractable leash. Instead, they feel trapped. I now walk Starbuck on either a 5-meter or 10-meter traditional leash only, and here are my 4 reasons why. And the first reason is pretty simple, and that is that retractable leashes teach a dog to pull while walking. Seriously, anytime Starbuck is put on a retractable leash, his dog walking manners go out the window, and he pulls so much more. And it shouldn't be a surprise because look what happens when you pull a retractable dog leash. It's always tight, which means that when Starbuck is walking ahead of me, he is always feeling tension on his back and he's always having to pull against it just to move forward. If I keep walking him on a leash like this, he gets used to it and he thinks that the sensation of pulling is a normal part of the walk. Whereas when we walk with a traditional leash, I can hold it in a way that is loose and is not causing any tension on his back, and he pulls a lot less on it. And that pulling can be very dangerous when you consider that retractable leashes can't be held with 2 hands. So, case in point, while getting footage of Starbuck on a retractable leash for this video, we were surprised by another dog. Starbuck was very reactive and he tried to run towards it. I did stop him in time, but I was now stuck. You can even see me in that video with a look of horror on my face as I'm thinking, oh no, what am I going to do now? Because in that moment, what I really needed to do was reel him back in for his safety. But I couldn't do that, could I? Because 1, you need to use 1 hand just to hold the handle, and 2, the cord is too thin anyway to safely do that, even if I did have 2 hands free to reel him in with. Now, thankfully, I did get lucky and he just stood still for me. So I was able to quietly move up and catch him before he tried to bolt again. But if I had been using a traditional leash, it wouldn't have mattered. You can loop a traditional leash around your arm and then you can use 2 hands and you can easily reel your dog in if you ever need to protect them. And because traditional leashes are thicker, they are safer because the thin wire that retractable leashes use mean that they are dangerous. Both humans and dogs get injured by them each year. The most common injuries are severe burns and cuts, but some other shockingly common injuries are breaking your hips from tripping over the tight cord leash and even amputation of fingers and paws that get caught up in the thin wire. Over 16,000 people in the USA had to be admitted to the hospital in 2007 for leash injuries. But honestly, probably the biggest reason that we only use traditional dog leashes is that retractable dog leashes make him feel anxious. And that's because, like many other animals, dogs are cursorial in nature. A cursorial animal has the instinct to run away from danger and they only choose to be aggressive if they feel they can't run away. And so then, when Starbuck is having to pull against this leash to move forward, it puts him in a chronic low-level anxious state because that constant tension on his back is reminding him that he can't just run away because he is attached to something. Whereas, if I walk him on my traditional leash, I can hold it in a way that places no tension on his back so that it isn't triggering that cursorial instinct in him, which is why dogs usually enjoy their walks so much more on a traditional leash. Look, I think it's very clear that I am very passionate about this topic, and so if you have any friends or family that are still using retractable leashes, it would mean a lot to me if you could please share this video with them. And then that way we can get more people using safer leashes that dogs much prefer instead. So if you found this video helpful, it would mean a lot to us if you could please give it a like and to subscribe. We really do appreciate your support, and Starbuck and I will see you in the next video.